Frank is such a great film to start the festival with, and it's a pleasure to have director Tonis Pill with us here today for the Q&A. I'm Josh Polanski. I'm a film critic, and I write a little bit about Baltic cinema. You can follow my coverage at the Boston Hassle. I'll start us with a few questions, and then we'll turn it over to you. I'm always curious about the process of working with children in films, and the children in this film were phenomenal. And I'm curious if you can say a little bit about that process, and specifically about helping them feel comfortable.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about how we approached getting these kids to act. I guess the general summarization of it is that we had a lot, basically a really long casting process, first and foremost, and then we had a really extensive rehearsal period. So basically every scene with even a word of dialogue in this movie was rehearsed beforehand with the kids, with the grown-up actors, and we went to always set with the really specific idea what we want. That being said, we also gave a lot of freedom to the kids to improvise on set, so a lot of like cool lines in the movie actually came kind of from their own mouths, and the most dirtiest words they used came from themselves. And of course there are like a lot of difficult scenes in this movie, especially for the kids, and we mostly approached this again in the rehearsals. Obviously the suicide topics are difficult things to approach, and we basically when we had this rehearsal with this really difficult scene, for example, for 2 hours we just talked. We shared with the kid, me and the male grown-up actor, basically moments from our lives where we felt the most sad, moments when we felt we lost somebody, and also moments when we felt really happy. So we kind of just got into this mood of being vulnerable, and then we played the scene. And we played it a couple of times, and then we felt, let's shoot it. And then I guess we tried to approach this with as much as empathy as possible, and throughout this making this movie, one of our main goals was not to actually hurt the kids, not mentally or physically. So that was our mantra.
No kids were harmed in the making of this film.
Yes.
Can you say a little bit about where you filmed?
Yes, we basically filmed everything in Estonia, near to Tallinn, so we had shooting time left from all the drivings needed to shoot. And since this takes place in 2000s, a lot of the cityscape and small towns and everything has changed so much, so the hardest part was finding the locations, because we were on a really tight budget. So nothing fancy, everything was pretty much, I tried to resemble this place as much as possible to my hometown. So when I was growing up in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah.
One question that I'm sure a lot of people may have felt during the film is Sasha and his brother are both Russian speaking, and I'm curious if you can just say a little bit more about that artistic decision, and as well as portraying them as these with complexity.
That kind of came straight away because the Sasha character was an actual person from my hometown, pretty much the same as he is in the movie, and they were both Russians, and there was a lot of sadness in that family, and I guess that there are some small artistic changes we've done. There's actually much more family background, what happened there. We put hints there and there, but otherwise we try to still show them as normal people, and the brother loves Grisha really loves his brother very much, and nothing weird there.
Okay. One last question, and then we'll turn it over to the audience. I'm not Estonian, but I was really curious, what does nugget mean?
Well, the real word, what he said is orbik. I don't know if any Estonians in this room know what orbik means. Okay, it's a really specific thing and it's gonna sound really weird, so sorry about that. But this nugget or orbik basically means a small boy without arms or legs. So that was a thing in the 90s and 2000s, that there were stupid anecdotes of the thing like an orbik, and that's why what they were talking about.
I guess nuggets is close of a translation as we're going to get to that.
Yeah, it was really hard to translate that. Yeah.
If you just want to raise your hand, do we have another mic, or is this the? Okay. I guess I'll run a mic over if you have questions. Oh, okay.
We can also share.
Can you speak up, maybe, first person?
Sure, I don't need a mic, but I'm curious. My wife is Estonian American. I'm familiar with it. I was married there. It's been how do I say? There's been a lot of success, tremendous success, objectively and compared to a lot of ex-Soviet nations. Do you get criticism in this film for showing a great deal of dysfunction, unhappiness? I mean, it's a real tough watch. To your credit, it's an exceptional piece of work. Is there some in ASD? Is there some discomfort with showing there's real dysfunction going on?
We were actually afraid of that happening. We were afraid before we premiered this that maybe this is too tough for some people, and of course it is. But generally, it was kind of a wake-up call, at least in our cinema stuff, that this kind of movie was made. Usually, we don't have like movies with mostly kids actors in it, which actually are like tough or toughish. They're most films try to kind of dim it down a bit to be more available, and we were kind of expecting that the first reviews were kind of make the kids or the parents not allow the kids to go see it, but kind of the opposite happened. The kids really wanted to see it, and like word of mouth got crazy, and basically then the kids got the parents to see it, and then there was like came out that people actually felt for this movie, and really this is something which was missing, I guess. So in a short answer, not much.
You got some great cinematography of the atmosphere, like the moonlight and the clouds and a rainbow, I think, and just interesting light. Was that lucky, or did you have to work really hard to get that?
Rainbow was super lucky. All in all the train stuff in this movie, for example, we had rainbow in a train shot, and trains are not like that. You don't get them really often. We had this one train which we rented for a day. All the train scenes are shot in one day. It was really tough, and mostly we had one take with each train thing, because the reset is like 1 hour because the train will stop and go back, and it's like every time we did a train shot, we rehearsed it like tens of times, did it in one take, and then moved on to the next train shot, rehearsed it 10 times. Especially it was hard when we had this one specific shot where the main kid was crying and being really emotional. It was in the dead of night, and we had this one train shot, and nobody can screw up, and we had like, and it was immense pressure for a child actor. Like, you have one shot of this, and he did really well. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm a bit dissatisfied with one of your previous answers. So I grew up in Estonia, and this felt like childhood. So where did you find these spots exactly?
These locations, you mean?
Yes.
The exact locations are in Tallinn, Rapla, Kehra, Kuusalu, Maardu, Ardu, and near Tallinn. small. If those are the names. So mostly like small towns or pieces near small towns.
Satisfied now?
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a very specific question. First, I wanted to say that the movie was amazing. I don't know if this is but it's just so complex and so good. So the question is, I didn't grow up in Estonia, but I did grow up in Latvia, so I speak Latvian, and also in the 90s. And we playing also had these nursery rhymes, just like. So I'm curious about the ones that boys use. Is it something from your childhood that you had to like retract the memory, or were they written for this movie?
This the galli galli. Yes, that's kind of like a nursery thing in like preschool or something, and the kids kind of improvised it on the spot. So that just one kid started singing it, and everybody else was like, so it was kind of like, I don't know. The kids did so much for this movie, just kind of randomly, and we tried to like allow it to happen as much as possible. This film was heavily scripted. It was really hard to often like tell these kids, okay, you can't say this. Like, there were no hashtags. Like, we didn't say like there's this slang you can't say and so on. So there were some things. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how you gave such depth and complexity to some of these characters that could have been just archetypes. You talk about how some other films were a little more flat in how they present certain topics. And I think of some childhood films. So I'm wondering if you could talk about what inspired you, what were the inspirations for film, and what inspired you to kind of paint a deeper picture of some of these characters?
I guess I'll start with the biggest references for this movie was I guess Stand By Me, Mud, Bully, mid-90s. Those were kind of the movies we were maybe getting some inspo from, I guess. And what was the second part, sorry?
Just what kind of made you dive deeper into like the background?
I mean, to me it's kind of like nothing made me do it. It kind of felt like it had to be done. Like it's should be like a standard to understand. To really, we're showing so I guess like difficult topics. We're showing like bad kids. We're showing like really hardcore stuff, but we really have to explain it, why these things are happening. We have to explain why this cycle of violence is happening and how do we break this chain of violence. So to explain that, we have to really give every character some form of reason why they are like that. And we often, this was not easy to do. We actually had like 30 more minutes of material which we cut out of the movie. There was much more backstory. There was a lot of things we just couldn't fit in, or it felt too much like babysitting already. So in the end, I think we managed to find this balance of how much we say and how much we don't.
I think we have time for maybe one last question.
First of all, thank you. It's beautiful. Thanks a lot. But I wanted to ask you one question. Why did you set it up as a period movie? Let's be honest. To set it up 20 years ago already is a period movie. It really raises expenses. It steals up your time you can be shooting because money is time. Do you think this story would work if you set it up in 2025?
Good question. Probably it would work. It would feel different for me, at least. When I started making this movie, it was like I had like this thing that first and foremost I wanted to kind of have the same feel and the same memory as I had I felt that I can tell this story a little bit better, and I kind of feel that, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s, like help was a lot further away than it is today. It's like we have grown as a country, and I guess the same as Latvia, Lithuania as well. That also there are many more social things that maybe help you a little bit better for like as a kid and so on. But I guess yeah, this could work as a nowadays movie, and some people actually didn't feel that it was like at all that far. I guess the phones were different, the drugs are different, and otherwise it's the same, and the topics are the same, and that's maybe a reason why the youngsters who went to see this movie in the masses in Estonia wanted to see it, because they found it relevant to them, these topics and these pains that they had. Yeah.
All good stories are timeless.
And one last round of applause for Frank and Tonis.